GTA 6 Trailer 2 gave us way more information than we have any business knowing, and I hope you're ready because today we are going to be taking a look at hundreds of tiny little details that you may have missed. We are going to be diving deep. It's probably going to be a pretty long video. Let's hop into it. So this is the first scene that we have of the trailer, and there is a lot to unpack here. So the first thing is going to be this street sign down here. You can see that Hamlet is off to the right. Now, Hamlet is a fictional version of Homestead. It's a more rural town on the outskirts of Miami. It's actually where the International Speedway is, if you guys are NASCAR fans. We haven't seen much of yet. There's just been little references to it. We know it exists. The GTA Mapping Project, I'll link them down below, has it on the map. So, you know, we don't know much about it, but we know we're somewhere on the outskirts of Hamlet in the Keys. Really represents the Keys well here. We've got these massive multi-million-dollar mansions right next to slightly less nice, but probably still $1 million little shacks. You've got all sorts of activity happening. We've got jet skis pulled up to the boat ramp. We've got guys on the edge of their docks, people out in boats, people sitting on the dock over here, laying by the pool, walking along the seawall. This is a heart-shaped pool over here, which I think, wasn't there a heart-shaped pool in Vice City? Wasn't that like an Easter egg or something? Or there's a Rockstar shaped pool, I know that for sure. But yeah, lots of activity, beachgoers over here, colorful places to hang out. Like it's just obviously a very vibrant, very active community. You can even see kind of back in the distance back here, looks like this could be some sort of an ice cream shop. We've got like gas stations and stores and things like that back here. This is huge. This is Brian's Marina, Brian Header. We're going to see him in a second. This is one of the most important locations in the game. This is going to be one of our first jobs, and I think the base of a lot of the story. So we're definitely going to be heading over there. So Jason's house must be somewhere in this area. I can't pick it out, but it's got to be close. Looks like we've got a small private plane flying overhead, and we've also got something else in the sky. This is not the first time that we've seen this blimp. So this is TARS, a tethered aerostat radar system, or more lovingly, he's been nicknamed Fat Albert, and it's a low-level airborne ground surveillance system that uses aerostats, moored balloons, as radar platforms. So basically a giant balloon that's tethered to the ground and just kind of roams around and monitors things. Now, the purpose of this guy is to provide low-level radar surveillance along the border between the US and Mexico, the Straits of Florida, and the Caribbean in support of federal agencies involved in the U.S. drug interdiction program. So basically, Fat Albert's a snitch. He's up there trying to detect planes and boats and things that might be bringing drugs into the States. So if we ask ChatGPT if there's a lot of movement in the Keys, yes, historically the Keys have been a known route for smuggling due to their geographic location and proximity to the Caribbean and Latin America. The region's many islands, secluded waterways, and relatively sparse law enforcement coverage in past decades made it an attractive corridor for traffickers. So bam, we have a huge part of the GTA 6 story here. Fat Albert, your enemy number one. In this next clip, we get our first look at Jason's house, or at least the place he's residing in for the time being. We'll talk more about that in a moment, but you can see kind of a traditional Keys style home here. We are up on stilts to help protect with that storm surge, so we are going to be near the coast here, and this thing has seen better days. You could see lots of distressed wood. We've got like missing slats here on this thing. You've got chipped paint and things, so it's a bit old and it's been through it. Jason's up here on the roof fixing something. We'll talk about that in a second as well. But yeah, he's fixing there. We've got tarps laid down. So I'm assuming this is shortly after a storm, most likely a hurricane. You can see we've still got puddles of water. There's palm fronds all over the place. More water over here. There is an iguana in a Hawaiian shirt, which I'm wondering if this is Brian's pet. Not sure, but he looks dapper. Yeah, so I'm wondering if the storm just happened here. It's a very common thing for Floridians to get roof damage in these hurricanes and then tarp your roof until you can get some repairs done or call repair work or whatever. So that's probably what happened here. This right here is going to be Jason's personal vehicle, at least the one that he starts off with. Pretty cool, like El Camino thing, car with a truck bed, kind of nice, very versatile, very economical and functional. It does seem like this is going to change over time, though. We'll talk about that later in the trailer, so remember this. And this right here, remember this thing as well. We hear from Brian.
What you doing up there?
I'm just fixing some leaks.
Seriously, dude, you got some time on your hands. I got some properties with paying tenants.
Oh, that's why you came by?
Just go get me my checks.
See you, Brian. Love you, Jason.
Okay, so lots of information in that bit right there. Just fixing some leaks, that's great. Obviously, Rockstar had some major leaks a couple years ago, so that's kind of a reference to that. We also learned that Jason is one of Brian's tenants, but he's not a paying tenant. I think he's kind of like a fixer for Brian. And I'm not talking just about like a maintenance guy. I think he does maintenance on properties. I think he makes sure people are paying rent on time. I think he makes sure that everything else in Brian's business is going well and things are happening on time and money is exchanging as it should. I think he's a fixer in every sense of the term. He's a bit of a bruiser, and he's kind of Brian's muscle, which we will see in the next couple of clips. But yeah, so he's living rent-free at this place, and he's just kind of Brian's everything guy. So a couple of important frames in this segment. Obviously, this right here is Brian. This is our friend, business partner, landlord, etc. Here's another look at that car, and we'll get a full view of it here in a second. But I believe this is, you know, obviously an old school cool car, but it's kind of an ode to the Oceanic from Vice City. It was a car that always spawned on Ocean Drive right in front of the Ocean View Hotel. In terms of Brian's truck here, obviously very beautiful truck. Absolutely love it. Just look at all the dirt. We were talking about this in the other few videos that we posted on the channel recently. The cars and the people just look so dirty in such a good way. It's insane how good the dirt looks in this game. We've also got functioning tire tracks here, and you can see these are like really knobby mud tires, and they're kind of making that really knobby path in the sand. It's not like a flatter tire like a car tire would, so I'm curious if those are going to be different. We've also got a lot of customization here. So obviously you've got the stripes in the hood and the side. You've even got a bunch of stickers on the windows, and we've also seen bumper stickers elsewhere. So hoping all of that makes it into East Coast Customs. As Jason's getting down from the roof, we can see a container ship. Kind of cool. We haven't really seen big boats like that in previous GTA games. We've also got a pleasure craft down here. And in this clip, you can see a raccoon digging around in the trash back behind Brian, which is another reference to those leaks from a couple of years ago. Bro is absolutely ripped. Look at the chiseled physique here. Look at the chest hair. Look at the way that his necklace is like bouncing off of his collarbone. We can also see another one of his tattoos. So we always see his paratrooper tattoo up on his shoulder, but he's got an arrow through a bird that's bleeding here. So not exactly sure what that's referencing or what kind of bird this is, but my man is very beautiful. Here's a wider version where you can see that Oceanic. So technically, I think the Oceanic was a four-door, so maybe I'm totally off about that, but it's definitely the same body style. There's got to be something significant about this old car here. And then off on the right, this is what the internet has really had a kerfuffle about. This might be Michael's boat from GTA 5, the yacht that was stolen. And we're actually going to see another reference to this later in the trailer, so we'll point it out then too. But maybe there's some way that Michael's boat was stolen in Los Santos and brought all the way cross country to Leonida. Also, just look at the detail here. So it looks like we've had some painting going on. We've got splatters all over the place, all the different colored pieces of wood, all the distressing. Look at like the rings where you set something there. It is just so freaking beautiful. And we've got more evidence of flooding. Now, I'll be honest, the Miami area can flood from a hard rainstorm, so I'm not guaranteeing this was a hurricane, but it definitely seems like that's what they're implying. And then as Jason's going inside the house, this is just another beautiful shot, man. Look at all the individual planks of wood that, again, it's an older house. It's distressed. It's been through a lot. The wood is starting to warp out. It's not like a perfect piece of wooden siding, you know what I mean? You can see all the paint chipping on the windows and things like that. You can see all the leaves that have been blown up here and they started to dry out. You can even see a no soliciting sign, it looks like, or maybe like a security sign. And he's even got a doorbell where you can see the wire coming down. Like the level of detail here, the reflections, the everything, I like pointing it out because it's just so incredible to me. This is the best video games I've ever looked. This next scene is pretty cool. Listen really carefully. Hopefully you've got some headphones, but you can hear her voice go from the left ear over to the right ear. Like the sound just sounds so good. You've also got his radio on in the background. This is that shoulder tattoo that I was referencing. We'll see that a lot. But in this, it's interesting because this window right here that's closest to us is a lot lower than this one. This is like, I don't know, 10% up. And then this one back here is about 50% up the window. So I don't know if we're gonna have individual window controls. That could be kind of interesting. So his neighbor in this pink dress yells at him and he's smiling at her. But look at this, she's got a pink sedan with pink paw prints running up the hood. So again, more vehicle customization there. Also, look at the fence in this side view mirror. Like, That's a pretty crisp side view mirror. Now, there is one kind of negative thing here. I don't remember where I saw this. I think it was a clip on Twitter or Reddit or something, but somebody pointed out that his steering wheel and his hand don't quite perfectly match up. The steering wheel is kind of moving a little bit underneath his hand there. So, I mean, that's something really small. I'm sure that's going to be handled by the time the game comes out, but it is something worth pointing out. Bro gets backhanded in this next clip, which is pretty cool, I'm not going to lie. But originally, I thought he was robbing this place. You could see he's got the bat in his hand. I don't think that's what this is. I think this is a shakedown for Brian. I think this is maybe a commercial tenant of Brian's, maybe a business associate of Brian's, something else. He needs to pay up. He hasn't paid up. And again, like I said, Jason's kind of a fixer for Brian. He's going to go around and make sure that things go right. Now, there are a couple of little things here. If we look down here in the bottom left, you can see this is our cash register, and you can see the different forms of payment that they accept. We've got like a PayPal equivalent and credit cards and MasterCard and whatever else. This looks like it's Apple Pay or iFruit Pay. We're going to see another reference to this later. Got our first look at some merch in the background, so I'm assuming all the different businesses around Leonida are going to sell different things. We can see Jason and his Leonida tank here, which looks amazing. Dude, we've got, is this a surfboard or maybe a kite surfboard or something? We've got a woman flying off of it. We've got another woman in a bikini watching it. This is some sort of a gift shop. We saw the crystals and stuff earlier. It looks like we've got some postcards over here, but then there's also like some hippie vibes going on. We've got like mats in the back. We've got people passed out. This is a hookah. We've got some rolling papers and a Bic lighter over here. Like I don't really know what this shop is. It's some sort of a weird crystal hippie hangout place. Here on the cash register, again, you can see all those payment options. We can also see a phone number, 305-555-0145. So 305 is the area code for Miami. That's kind of cool. I don't know if this is something you can call in game. This has to mean something. Maybe it could be a cheat code or something. Who knows? But watch as he hits this cash register. It's honestly one of the most impressive physics side of this trailer. Look at the way the entire register shakes as he hits it. Like the table under it is solid, but the actual register itself is shaking. Look at the way the money slides out. Look at the way everything kind of like jostles in there, all the little coins individually. Look at all the little bills that have all the folded corners and everything. It's not perfect. Like the level of detail on a cash register in a single retail shop on a massive open world map, it's just unreal. I love this clip here, man. So we're heading north out of the Keys into Vice City, stuck in traffic on the freeway, just bumping along to music. You can see his thumb, you know, kind of going to the beat there. And this is a very Miami, very Florida experience. There's quite a bit to unpack here, though. So first of all, let's take a look at the road signs. So we know for sure the Vice City Airport is called Vice City International Airport. We also know that it's going to be close to Ambrosia, which is the industrial part of town. We talked about this in our last breakdown that we did, and that means we kind of assumed that correct. We were talking about that and trying to get the layout for everything. So yeah, VCI and Ambrosia are going to be over to the west outside of town. Here you can go downtown, and then if you take a right, you can go to Southside, Peacock Bay, 9th Avenue. So I don't know if we know much about Peacock Bay, but excited to learn more about that. In terms of the vehicles here, obviously, this is a pretty cool truck. Old school, big mud tires. Again, we've got those bumper stickers on there. We've got a pair of truck nuts on there. We've got a couple of guys hanging in the back. I'm hoping with like GTA Online and stuff. Imagine being able to just hop in the back of a pickup and speed off. Could be kind of cool. But yeah, so lots of truck customization happening. Over here, we've got a truck towing a jet ski, which is pretty cool. Again, this world just feels so lived in. We've got a roadside crew cleaning things up, and you can actually see some of the like dirt and trash and stuff. And I'll be honest, in Florida, it probably looks a little bit worse than this, but you actually have debris over on the shoulder of the road, which we've just never really seen detail like that before. Also pay attention to how the gray truck with the ski swerves as the plane's going overhead. I don't know if it's like a reaction to seeing the plane or what, but again, that's not really things we've seen before. It's really cool how the jet ski reacts too. The trailer's very realistic. This clip is absolutely incredible. It's one of my favorites from the trailer. So Jason is working out on South Beach. You could tell it's Jason because of that paratrooper tattoo right there. By the way, he's got some AirPods in. We've seen those in a lot of other places, so we don't have to keep mentioning that, but kind of cool to have iFruit pods. This, I mean, as a whole, it seems like working out's really important. We'll see Lucia kickboxing in this video. We've seen seen the screenshots of Lucia and the gym with like gym equipment in the background and stuff. So I'm really hoping there is some sort of a fitness attribute in this game where you're going to have to go to the gym. You're going to have to keep up with yourself, take care of yourself, kind of a San Andreas style thing. These girls over here are walking along. You'll see them kick up sand, which just looks so good. We've seen that in so many clips and screenshots. You can even see the sand caked up on Jason's dad shoes here, which is just immaculate levels of detail. You can see other people working out in the background. We're doing pull-ups on monkey bars. We've got kind of a boxing bag set up over here. So maybe Lucia's over here. Maybe we're having a little gym day. I don't know. Who knows? Looks like we've got some like ladder stuff over here. You've got kettlebells down on the ground. There's a tripod. So I think, you know, we've got more people on social media over here. Obviously, we know social media is going to be a huge part of this game. I'm assuming this is going to be somebody filming themselves for social media. You can even see the detail on the plates here. So this is a Gaines plate. There's also another brand called Beast plates. You can see somebody in the background walking their dog. You could even see that he's got like a bottle of water down here. Like it looks so good. Next up, Jason stops at the convenience store to pick up a 6-pack. He's definitely earned it after that hard day up on the roof, but it just looks so good. There's so much to unpack here. First of all, look at the way the beer is sloshing around in the bottles. That is just insane. Everything just has its own physics. It just looks so good. We actually have a cat up on top of the ATM. So we've seen a bunch of dogs. We've seen iguanas. We've seen all sorts of things, but we haven't seen cats. Over on the left side over here, this guy is playing the lotto, and it says a new millionaire every week, Ballfin lottery. So I'm assuming we're going to be able to play the lottery in this game. Could be a way to either make or completely throw away all of your money, probably the latter. And then the other thing I really wanted to point out here is this. Look at this. I feel like this is just way too out there not to mean anything. We've got the keypad, the security keypad on the wall, but we've also got the box. We've got all the wires and everything, all the little transformers and stuff. So this just looks inviting. This looks like something that you can mess with, you can turn on, turn off, hack potentially, kind of a Rainbow Six Hitman style vibe where you tap in and you can undo things to be able to hack the mainframe and shut off the alarm system. So that might be something to do with heists and robberies and things like that. Moving forward a couple of frames, we could see a lot of the notices and advertisements and things on the doors. So you could see up here, we've got some Redwood cigarettes, wheelchair accessible, but then this is kind of what I wanted to talk about here. So want to touch it. I think this is advertising that iFruit Pay, contactless payments. Again, it's got like the Fleeca Bank and MasterCard and whatever else over here. Attention customers, it is unlawful for any person to consume or possess in any open container any alcoholic beverage in the store within 100 feet of the store. Violators are subject to arrest and prosecution, so you better hold on to those things. Don't start drinking them yet. We've also got an ID check for under 30. Dude, the level of detail here. I think this says all animals must be carried or leashed. Obviously, that doesn't apply to the cat earlier. Over here, we've got Vapomin juice. So is this like a vitamin that you can vape? That seems like a very Rockstar style product for sure. And then as we get outside, we can see the homeless man down here asking for a bit of change. We've got somebody in the back of this truck. Then over on the side, this is what I was talking about earlier. So this could be a weird rendering thing. It could be by accident, but obviously we've got a new fender here. We've got a new driver's side fender. Maybe something went wrong during a heist, or maybe, who knows, but this obviously doesn't match up. This is brand new and freshly painted. This is his old original paint job, so we might see his personal vehicle kind of ebb and flow and change over the course of the story. This next clip is incredible. I'm gonna keep saying that about all the clips, but it looks like this is some sort of a random event that happens in the world. This obviously has nothing to do with us. We're just driving by, and we've got this big arrest happening here. And this is something that I really hope this is common. We talked about this in our locations video that we put up a couple days ago. We had that one super wide image during the daytime of Vice City, and then down in the bottom right, we had the guys that were running and one was being arrested and whatever else. So like, this is incredible if stuff like this happens a lot. GTA 5 had activity. There were pedestrians out and about. There were other civilians in vehicles. There would be random car accidents that would happen and things, but like, it didn't really mean anything. It wasn't entertaining to look at. It didn't feel like it really added anything to the game. If you've got full-blown arrests like this happening just randomly, that is incredible. And I'm really curious what would happen if you got out of your car and went and tried to mess with that, and like how the cops will react and how you can interact with the cops or whatever else. So it's just really interesting there. But let's break this down a little bit. So first of all, the location, we are currently in Le Pearl. We saw a screenshot of this in the last videos as well, so you can see the actual columns that are supporting the metro here. So that's kind of cool. Just kind of gives you a little bit of a location. Now, we said before that the Pearl was Little Haiti, and you could see here we've got a Haitian flag on the wall and a map of Haiti here. So going to be a very interesting, probably a little bit sketchy part of town, but I'm sure there's some great people here. The actual arrest here is really, really cool, just by the way that the cops are treating everyone so differently. So this first guy is getting pushed. Obviously, this cop is escalating it a little bit too far. Then in the next clip, we've got like these people here, which we've got people sitting down. Looks like she might be taking a statement. Is she taking notes or something there? We've got another guy giving a statement over here. So the cops are coming in and they're splitting people up and taking statements just like they would in real life to cross-reference everything. Then we've also got another group of people over here. I'm assuming just friends or maybe witnesses or something. Then we've got cops over here keeping them from getting over to whoever was actually involved in it. So this is truly how the police would conduct a stop. This level of realism is just, it's unprecedented. I cannot believe that this might be a random event in a game. It could be a cutscene or something, I guess, but I think it's going to be random. Also, warning, no video without permission. Call 305-565-0178. So this is the second phone number that we've seen. These phone numbers have to have something important. All right, so let's go
I'm here
pick
for
Lucia.
Caminos. She's supposed to be getting out.
What's your name?
Jason Duval.
I seen you here before.
You might have.
You can actually hear the distortion of the guard's voice as it's coming through this like old archaic microphone. And he also asked Jason if he's seen him here before, which kind of implies that Jason may have also been locked up in this penitentiary at some point in time. So we're picking up our girl. She's getting out. She's already got this ankle monitor on. So this is going to be a big part of it. We've seen this in the concept art. We see it in a few clips in this trailer. So she's going to be limited. It's going to be really interesting to see how that works, how the character switching is going to work. Obviously, Jason is going to be able to go to places that she can't go because she'll get in trouble. It's going to be curious to see what happens if she does cross those lines. Will she get rearrested? How does that work with the game? It's going to be really cool. But over here on the right, I thought this sign was kind of cool. So it says, prisoners are entitled to 15-minute visits through the week with an additional 1-hour visit every Sunday. Please call the prison information line for further details by order of the state governor. There were a few other signs and things on there about not bringing in weapons and whatever else, but just kind of cool. Again, little individual pieces of detail here. Look at the rusted sign. This stuff is just so old and beat down and not really well taken care of. Her shirt here, it's a reference to the Leviathan, which is a coaster in GTA 5. Obviously very excited.
Hey.
Spark is reignited. GTA music starts and we're gonna have a little happy time. I can only imagine the hormones that are flying in this scene when you get your girl out like this. So good for you, Jason. I'm sure you had a great day. This clip is just, it's so little, but it's so good. Look at the way everything is moving. Look at her hair bouncing. Look at her bouncing. Look at the bed reacting to their shifting of weight and stuff. Like it's really a pretty low quality shot in the grand scheme of everything we've seen in this trailer, but it still looks so realistic. And of course, don't forget, she does still have that ankle monitor on. This part right here is a bank heist. Very excited for this mission. You can see right here, Lucia's got kind of a stock iron sight MP5. And then if you look over at Jason, he's got some sort of a scope on his MP5. And these, they look really good. All the weapons so far have looked really good. I'm really excited to see how they shoot. Also, you could see in this image right here when she's standing them up, this is, we've got a security lockdown in effect for Sin Frontera National Bank, SNB. And we've actually seen a few other images and videos from this heist. They both come from Raul Batista's like character page on the GTA 6 website. Now, I thought this said SNB, but this is SM Bank. So maybe it's the same bank, maybe not. Obviously, he's got a bank heist happening right here, but then I know for a fact it's the same one in this clip right here because Lucia's got her same face mask on. So obviously they get the money, but something goes wrong. They're being surrounded here, but they are with Raul, who's a seasoned bank heist veteran. So hopefully they're all going to get out okay. And I just can't wait to run this heist, dude. The S&B heist. It's going to be amazing. So amazing. In fact, it went well, and we could celebrate it with a nice pendejo here. It certainly looks like this scene is kind of a celebration for a job well done. Think like a Fast and the Furious ending when they've got the barbecue and you can have any beer you want as long as it's a Corona. Well, we've got pendejos here, which is like idiot or maybe a slightly more rude word, but we're going to hold it for monetization reasons. But yeah, just look at this. Absolutely beautiful. Golden hour. Look at that sun-kissed skin. Look at the way the beer is sloshing around in the bottle. Like, just looks so good. This is a really impressive segment from the trailer. In this image here, we can really kind of see this love story blooming, and I'm excited for that. We haven't had like a full-on relationship like this before in a GTA game. I guess kind of, but just surface level. Like, this feels like this is not only a criminal story, but a love story, which I'm pretty excited to see how that works. Also, just, I mean, look at the details here, dude. Look, so we've got a Lure Predator here, which we've seen other Lure Predator boats in the screenshots and things. So we're going to have multiple different models of this style of boat. This is a slightly smaller center console. We've got a Bimini up top. We've got a Dinka outboard, 300 V6 engine on the back. Look at the dirt and the scuffs and things like that. Is just insane. Look at the frayed boat tie-ups, the frayed ropes here, the cleats and everything. It just, everything looks so amazing. And then last but not least, this is just a really impressive screenshot. We've talked about this in the other videos. It seems like the water actually matters this time around. It didn't matter in GTA 5. You occasionally saw some jet skis going by, but apart from that, you were never on the water unless you were trying to go up that one canal to go into the sewers to be able to get away from the cops. But in this, it looks like there's activities out there. You can see yacht parties going down, people fishing or maybe taking pictures for social media on center consoles out here. This looks like it could maybe be some sort of an airboat. We've got people on jet skis going by. We've got ducks in the water. Like, the water actually means something here. It's not just a barren thing to look nice. It's a place that you're going to be able to go and find activities and live events. Iconic shot right here, loading up the seaplane with who knows what, drugs, guns, money, some sort of contraband. Otherwise, we wouldn't be doing it late at night when nobody's here and nobody can see us. Fat Albert, we better watch out for. I wonder if we're gonna have to like find like certain parts when the radar's down. You gotta like go underneath or stay low enough to stay under Fat Albert or whatever. But yeah, very cool shot here. Rainy night, very moody. Obviously illegal things going on, and again, this is Brian's marina, so we saw this in that very first clip. Brian's a business partner, a friend. Honestly, I bet he's kind of like a guide. He's almost like a fatherly figure in a way, is kind of the vibe that I get. So, you know, hopefully everything goes well. It almost never does, but we do have a phone number here, 786-555-0109. We've seen so many phone numbers in this. You've got to have a cell phone in game with all the social media stuff. I wonder what happens when we end up calling these numbers. But in the background, we can kind of see some other stuff. Obviously, this is a boat shop first. It is a legitimate business. It's just they kind of grease the books a little bit with some alternative investments. We've got some Rolex outboards back here. So that's a third type of outboard. We've got Dinka, we've got Nagasaki, and now we've got Rolex. In this next clip, we could see Lucia doing some of her court-ordered community service. So she's picking up some trash on the side of the road. Again, we talked about that trash collecting before. Look at this. We've got no dumping, and it looks like people are not listening to that, but we've got individual chip wrappers and cups, and you can see like this. Is this like an ice cream quart? We've got an actual can here that's been smashed. We know for sure that this is Lucia. She's got a Brian's Boat Works cap on. She's got her gold boxing chain on, and then also she still has that ankle monitor on. So part of her release situation is community service and house arrest, or whatever it is, location arrest, just they need to know where she is at all times. Here's a close-up of that boxing glove pendant. So Lucia's dad taught her to fight at a young age. She's been pretty much fighting her entire life, so obviously means a lot to her. But here we are back in our house that we saw at the very start of the trailer. Feels good to have her here, have her out of jail. Looks like we do have a pet snake, which is going to be interesting. I wonder if we're going to have to feed him. You can kind of see some like cleaning supplies and stuff up on top of the snake. I don't really know much about snakes. Back here in the back right, you can see more of that storm damage. Looks like we've got some drywall that we've replaced. Looks like there could be a significant amount of remodeling going on, so it'll be interesting to see if the house changes over the course of the story. And this is where the good time arrives, baby. I love Cal. I've said it before. I think he is going to be my favorite character from this game. It just always feels like he is in for a good time. Here for a good time, not a long time. He's ordering rounds at the bar. Ring that bell. This just looks like a really good time. So this is the Rusty Anchor. We have seen this. It's a location in the Keys. I think it's going to be one of the primary meetup, hangout, maybe even kind of like a decompress after a mission style of places. Just busy, lived in. Look at all the people out here. Look at these glasses in the foreground and the way they're distorting the bartender like that. It's just the little things like that make this world look so real. We've got all sorts of things happening all over the place. One of the most important signs is this. Hurricane Roxy was this strong, is what it looks like it says. I think this is going to be a piece of the bar from before that was probably ripped off. And that goes along with what we've been saying about how there's still like flooding everywhere and there's damage to Jason's house and whatever else. So I'm imagining that all of this trailer is taking place shortly after a hurricane has come through. This is probably the first time the bar has opened back up. Locals are coming out, want to have a drink, a lot of work to be done, that sort of thing. So kind of a cool thing to bring a community together like that. Now, we've got other stuff here. The Good Time State, Happy Hour. Looks like we got a news clipping here, Fishy Business. This is Loggerhead Beer. We've seen that other places. We've got Pisswasser, Stronzo, Pisswasser, Pendejo all over the place. We've got an ad for what looks like an Arby's over here. Only 30,000 calories. My goodness. License plates all over everything. This just looks like a really, really good time. I'm curious if all of these license plates are going to be available for vehicle customization. Ooh, this one's nice. Leonida Vice. We've seen lots of different license plates, especially on the motorcycle clips, but you know, just a really cool bar. A nice divey Keys beach bar. There's nothing better than this. Good googly moogly, bro. Like this clip right here, I've watched it a few times. We could just play it back and forth, forward and rewind, slow it down, everything else. You know, in my professional opinion, this just looks great. There's not really a whole lot to say here, but like, God, her daddy was a baker. All jokes aside, look at the movement, and I'm not talking because it's ass cheeks, but like, just look at the way that the character is moving, and look at the way she spins around and things. This is a video game character. This looks like it's somebody with like a Steadicam rig walking behind a girl with a big butt. Like, this doesn't look like a video game character. I'm just blown away by this shot. We're up here on this yacht on the Fly Bridge. Looks super bougie. We got like a big bar and stuff up there, so it's going to be fun to go rub some elbows with some important people and then get down and dirty in the backwoods of Leonida as well. The next clip, it looks like there are some biker gangs back behind us, so obviously we're going to get into ties with them. Jason says if we're going to do this, we're doing it right, which obviously we have no idea what they're talking about, but then they're standing outside of some sort of a elevated platform that says victory on it with the waving American flag. I don't recognize this. I have no clue what that is, so if you guys know what this could be, feel free to let me know. Later that night, they go to 919 together, and again, it just, all the movements and dancing and everything looks so good. 919 is a club slash strip club. I'm assuming we've seen it referenced before. It was in that first trailer that was being towed behind the aerial advertiser. One can only assume it's based off of 11, which is like this massive multi-level strip club in Miami.
Yo, D, this fool a fed?
Yo, D, this fool a fed. So Jason is being accused of being a cop in this scene. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting. There have been rumors for years now that Jason could be a cop and like references to it. There's also another clip that we're going to see a little bit later in the trailer that some people think is Jason. We don't know, but either way, if he is or if he isn't, if you're getting accused of being a fed with a group like this, it's not a good sign. These fine gentlemen look inviting, like they just want to share a word over a cup of tea or something, but I did think it was kind of funny in the back here. So this is like some sort of community center or something. Maybe we got a bulletin board. We've got, please return my bike. Somebody stole this guy's bike and there's a phone number, so maybe we can return a lost bike. Maybe these are going to be like little side missions or little activities. We've got La Pearl Caribbean Market, La Pearl American Cultural Center, something like that. So this is going to be somewhere in that La Pearl neighborhood.
And they got your name, address, they got everything.
They got your name, address, they got everything, he says to Jason. And we also see just before that, Jason and Lucia hopping out of a window as a police helicopter is coming over top. So whatever it was, they're getting busted here. This guy here looks like he means business, some sort of a senior detective or something like that. It kind of seems like he might be one of our main antagonists, at least from the official side of things, from the law side of things.
Us cops, we gotta protect each other.
He says that us cops, we gotta protect each other, and that just doesn't smell right. You know what I mean? That smells a little bit corrupt. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with this guy. And this scene right here is where a lot of people, some people were saying that this might be Jason. Bro, that's not Jason. Look at the hair and everything. That's absolutely not Jason. Other people are saying this looks like Jason's arm, and that's Reach City, bro. Like that's a foul. That's an ejection if you're trying to reach for that. However, I could kind of see this argument because you wouldn't see dialogue from a cutscene that your character wasn't involved in. It'd be weird. Like, you wouldn't cut away to seeing the enemy cop like talking about something and hear his plans. So maybe this is Jason. Maybe he is a Fed. Maybe he's got to deal with the feds. Who knows what the deal is there, but it does kind of allude to the fact that for some reason either Jason or Lucia is in this room listening to this guy talk. Dope shot of Jason leaning out the window doing a drive-by. Remember that he's just like one arm, like kind of a little bit leaning out the window, but mainly just one arm, because we do see another instance of this later on. Then we've got Bay Lux, which we know is one half of Real Dimes, and she's mimicking the drive-by, which is kind of fun. In the background, we've got some public transit. There's a bus going by, as well as the train, metro, whatever you want to call it up there, which we've seen in a lot of other places. So it looks like there's a working metro system. Again, my goodness, dude, the way she moves in that dress, I'm just so impressed. Thank you, Rockstar, for taking 12 years to master. Even if it was just those cutscenes, it was worth the time invested. This next clip here is outside of the Starlit Motel. You can see up there. So we saw this in our locations video. This is in Port Gellhorn, kind of a forgotten past of Vice City, of Leonida. So it's a very rough part of town, kind of the sandy shores. Obviously, we've got some pretty physical stuff happening here. Honestly, a really cool little fight scene here, just like grabbing him by the neck and throwing him down. We haven't really seen that move before. Then back in the background, you can see we've got a vehicle on fire. And look at the way, like, the flames look real. It looks like the actual interior of the car is on fire. It's not just like a big explosion and then the thing is charred. It's like this car is put together here. Looks like it's a Range Rover. And then, like, the fire is burning around the metal flame, and it's burning the actual seats and things inside. We've got Lucia doing her fighting thing. Obviously, she does some street fighting, but she also does some legitimate kickboxing and stuff. And again, I hope this, like, imagine you can go to fitness classes. Let's take Jason to some hot yoga or something. You know what I mean? Like, that'd be kind of cool. We could also see, like we talked about before, there is construction happening inside the house. You can see the framing, you can see the new drywall boards that he's putting up and things. It'll be interesting to see if the house changes over time. This takes the cake for the most realistic explosion I have ever seen in a video game. Like, this is truly incredible work right here. Her grenade launcher, one of the things I really appreciate, like, obviously the fire in the car lifting up and things all look good, but look at how on the right side you've got the SUV police cruiser that kind of gets thrown and flipped to the side there, and then you've got this military SWAT vehicle that just kind of gets pushed to the side. Obviously, this thing is armored. It's a lot heavier, so that really shows the physics and how the weight of vehicles are going to affect it. And you know, obviously, inversely, if you hit something with that big heavy truck, it's going to do a lot more damage than the SUV would, which is pretty cool. Equally as important is there's a titty billboard in the background. Really excited to see the bromance develop here between Jason and Draquan. Looks like we've got something crazy that they're reacting to on his phone. That is interesting because in the first trailer, there was a big focus on like these crazy events and recording it for social media and all the likes and like you had the social media overlays and stuff on it. We didn't see much of that in this game, so I think they could be on Life Invader or social media, whatever it is, whatever the thing is called in this game. In the background, we could see we've got another dog down here. We've seen lots of dogs all over the place, so I really hope I can pet him. And then we've got the football team, the Manatees, aka the Miami Dolphins, as well as the basketball team, which instead of the Heat, it is going to be the Narcos. We saw that in the other image from the other day. These moments are going to be absolutely incredible. We've got fighting inside of the landing gear of a plane. You certainly hope that Lucia wins this, and with all of her experience, I'm sure that she does. And then the next clip is equally as Jason Bay. We've got a safe heist happening where we're speeding away with a dually pickup, dragging a safe behind us like it's straight out of Fast 5. And I love how when the safe whips around, it kind of tugs the back of the truck out. Like, I can only imagine how hard that thing's going to be able to drive, how frustrating it's going to be if you get it wrapped around a tree or something. But like, those moments, those huge blockbuster moments are going to be so much fun. And then the next clip is, I said that we didn't really see much social media. This is the first kind of reference to social media that we've seen in this trailer. Next up, we've got little Ocean Drive action outside of the Dominion Hotel. Gives us a little look at some of the cars, and it just, dude, this looks like a Skittles bag here. This looks so insane. Look at the rims on this thing. That is absolutely ridiculous. We've got her hanging out the back seat, touching her butt. Oh, we've got two people hanging out the side. Wait, is this the driver? That's not the driver. It can't be. No, that's somebody else in the back seat. People taking photos and stuff. We've got what looks to be an Aventador. We've got a Banshee back here. We've got all sorts of stuff going on. Looks like this Trans Am has the like the Firebird on it or whatever, so you can get some hood customization. Just, you know, the stripes and everything. I can't wait to see everything we could do. The gold rims on the Verde Ithaca here looks really nice. You could see like lounge areas and stuff up top of these buildings. We've got people hanging on this side up here. Like, again, just look at how lived in this world looks. You've got people enjoying lunch out here. You've got heaters in case it gets a little bit cool at night. Partying at night on Ocean Drive. This is the Clevelander. We've talked about that before. We got some strip club action. This was a fantastic place to pause the video, Trevor. I did want to say that we talked about it before, but the people on the bills are actually presidents from Red Dead Redemption 2, which is an insane crossover.
Come to Phil's Ammunition today. We got more guns than the law allows.
Hail Rock, brother, come to Phil's Ammunition. So this is a reference to the original Vice City. Phil Cassidy was a legend, a main character in the game, and a lot of people are assuming that this is his son and he took over the family business. So we've got Phil's Ammunition here, and hell yeah, brother, we got some American flag painted carbines and some American flag painted biddies. That's all we need for sure. But very cool shot here. So starting left to right, is this Michael's sailboat? Is this the one that's out in the yard? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what happens. We've got some construction materials here. We've got paint and rollers and drywall scrapers and all kinds of stuff. So obviously there is a bit of work happening on this house. Of course, we've got the PS5 and controller over here. And then we've got these beers. And these beers, like, this is an unnecessary level of detail. Look at how you can see all the bubbles coming up on the beer. And more importantly, look at how this beer right here is fresh. She's almost full. She's got the condensation on there. She's fresh out of the fridge. You know, she's crisp and ready to go. Her mountains are blue. Over here, this one's been drank. It's sat out for a while. It doesn't have the condensation on the glass. It looks a little bit flatter. It looks a little bit older, a little bit warmer. Like, look at the difference there. If you get a beer out of the fridge, it's gonna look nice and condensated and cold and beautiful, and then over time it's slowly gonna deteriorate. Like, that is just unreal. Here's another angle. You could see this freshie has the condensation all over it. She's nice and chill. And then here's the pre-drank one, and look at this. You could even see the way that the light bar on the controller is shining through it. This also shows us some more of the construction that's happening. I don't know that I saw this before. Oh my gosh, if we go back to the original clip when Jason first opens the door, there's no, I don't know what's called, like the construction paper or whatever he's got taped down here. That's not there in the first clip. So yeah, we actively have construction changing the interior of the home as the game progresses. Helicopter chasing an airboat through the Everglades, pretty epic. We've got somebody hanging out the right side of it that's got a mounted machine gun on there, and this doesn't look like an official police chopper. Could be military, but it looks, you know, a little bit sketchy there. Also, there is a pig on the top right side of it, so I wonder if we're going to be able to do some hog hunting and stuff, get rid of those pests. This next clip here with Jason and Lucia going by on the Sea Shark with the yacht party on the background is so cool. That's one of my favorite images that they gave us on the website, is the one from the Keys where there's just so much going on from the sharks in the bottom left and all the different types of boats and parties and things. Like, the water is actually lived in. There's going to be stuff to do out there. Jason cruising along on his bike. We've got our drug planes flying overhead. Another movie moment with Lucia jumping from a motorcycle onto the back of a truck to steal a car, which is just ridiculous. And by the way, there are Liberty City plates on this truck. That is not the first place that we've seen these plates. We also know that Lucia herself is from Liberty City, so maybe we're going to get some Liberty City flashbacks or moments, or maybe it's just kind of a little Easter egg, but kind of cool there. Also, the clip right after this one, first of all, just looks amazing. Second of all, I think it was on Reddit, I saw somebody comment that this is like the first one, she's jumping to the truck, like jumping towards her, goal or dream in the moment of stealing this car. She's jumping in head first, and obviously if she misses, she's going to fall and crash and burn. And then the exact next clip is symbolic because she's jumping in to Jason's arms, like she's jumping into the relationship, and hopefully there's no crash and burn there. Boat shooting at a helicopter, iconic moment. We saw this in Vice City. Also, this is a Vice Dale chopper. We know there are numerous different factions of cops for all the different regions of the map. Speaking of Vice Dale, we've got Vicedale County off to the left in this image, as well as Mariana County. So, is it Marion, Georgia? Is this a reference to like probably the northern side of the map with like Mount Calaga, the national park and things like that? I don't know, kind of a guess at that point, but it looks like we're not quite going to make this yellow light. Things are getting a little bit hectic. I believe this is Jason on the bike right here, and I believe Lucia is in this car. We'll see them in the next clip. Look at this guy. Remember when I told you to remember when Jason was leaning out the window with just one arm? This guy is getting completely out of the window and sitting on it to turn around and fire at him. We've also got bullets that are hitting the pavement here and sparking up dust and stuff, which obviously looks really, really good. By the way, this is in Port Gellhorn. Another Hollywood movie moment with Jason jumping from his bike onto Lucia's convertible here. Cal is in his Brian's Boatworks shirt, just fired up about something, and then we end the trailer with the perfect ride off into the sunset. And it's a small detail here, but again, the world is just so lived in. Look at this. We've got a guy on a bike on the side of the road actually in the bike path. I don't think that's real. He'd either be on the sidewalk running pedestrians over or in the middle just causing mayhem for traffic. We also have a guy on his small little skiff center console thing out here riding under the bridge. So again, there's just an infinite number of details here. Like I tried to break it down to the actual important stuff that really means something. If I missed anything, feel free to leave it down in the comments. But bro, this game, I can't wait to get in it and just walk around and drive around and just kind of experience all the things that are happening, because every single image, you could take any single screenshot from this trailer and there'd be 1,000 things going on. So hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys learned something new. Thank you guys so much for watching. We're going to keep making GTA videos as new stuff pops up, as new trailers and things drop. Hopefully we get more soon. I've got a feeling it's probably going to go dark for a little bit, but thank you guys for watching. I'll see you all later. Peace out.